What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and thankfully, the Phillies got another win. They are now 2-5 on the season, and they won their home opener against the Reds by a score of 5-2. Some huge home runs late in the game by JT Realmuto, and a pinch hit go-ahead, well, not go-ahead, but a pinch hit, I guess icing on the cake type of bomb that you get from Edmundo Sosa pinch hitting for Cody Clemens. And I believe it was in the 7th inning or something like that, the 8th inning. And then basically your bullpen takes it away from there. Zack was definitely much better in this game than from his first appearance against the Texas Rangers. He got a little bit shaky in that 5th and 6th inning. I do judge Rob Thompson a little bit for bringing Zack back out for another inning of work, because you can clearly tell that he was getting a little bit tired in that 5th inning, allowing a couple of hits, allowing a run, walking some guys, just, not being able to find the strike zone as often, and, clearly getting frustrated out there on the mound. So I do question Topper for bringing him back out there. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But overall, Trea Turner, he gets another hit. Kyle Schwarber drives him home all the way from first base. You've seen Trea chug around the bases, and he does that, casual slide that he always does into home plate. Bryce gets another hit in this ball game. Nick Castellanos with 2 doubles in this game, so he was good at the plate overall. And even getting a bases loaded walk from Brandon Marsh. There definitely were a lot more opportunities early on in this game. Like I said, Brandon Marsh walked with the bases loaded. Trea Turner wasn't able to bring more guys home with 2 outs there. He popped up. And I think Alec Boehm had a couple of guys in scoring position, I believe, later on in the ball game. Wasn't able to come up for that situation. And there were many situations throughout the game where the Phillies weren't able to cash in, and the Reds immediately scored right after. So that kind of got frustrating in that aspect. But thank God for JT Realmuto. Thank God for the bullpen, and thank God for guys like Edmundo Sosa coming off of the bench and being, just that guy. So that was nice to see. Nice to see a win in your first game at home. I was at the ballpark today. I sat literally right next to where the players enter the field from, the left field stands or something like that. And it was very nice to see. The video is up on my TikTok. You could check out the TikTok at TPPSPORTS, so why not throw that tag out there? But yeah, it was a nice time. Great atmosphere. Packed ballpark. Definitely, the weather yesterday would have, been much more desirable for a home opener. 70 degrees, nice and warm out. It was 50 degrees, and it was breezy basically the entire time. And I got my father next to me complaining to me about the entire thing. So that's basically for there. But overall, great atmosphere, fun time, and thankfully we got the win. I do have some complaints just about the experience at the game, just because there was a security guard that just kept standing right in front of me, literally right in front of the play of action. And then, all these kids that just kept getting up to try to get the ball from Brandon Marsh or the center fielder that was out there for the Reds. It was just annoying getting up and down, up and down, up and down, because these kids kept trying to get a ball. They finally did eventually get a ball in the, the top of the 9th inning. But it was just up and down, up and down, up and down. Come on, man, I'm trying to watch the game. Try to have a good time. And overall, I did have a good time. It's always nice to see a win. And maybe this is what this team needs. They just need a little home cooking, because they did look a lot more, comfortable being at home. And we all saw that throughout the playoff run last year. They love playing in their home ballpark, especially when it's loud, especially when it's packed, especially when the fans are behind you. So we definitely saw a lot more comfortability, Definitely not, they looked like they want to play baseball today rather than, some of the games that we saw out in Texas and, New York. So they definitely looked a lot better in this game. Zack Wheeler definitely looked a lot better, even though he got, I would say, gassed in the last few innings of the outing. Bullpen looked very good. Jose Alvarado looked dominant as ever. Andrew Bellotti continues to be fantastic out of the pen. Gregory Soto even threw in a clean inning there. So I'm assuming this is what Greg Soto's going to be. Every other start's going to be bad, and every other start's going to be good. That's basically what the experience with Soto has been so far. The blow-up on opening day in Texas, then the Sunday night game, he was really good, and then the game in New York where he allowed the home run, and now the game today where he looked, really good. So that's there. And then Craig Kimbrell comes out for the save once again, makes it very terrifying because he allows the tying run to come to the plate. and I still very question it. I don't think Craig Kimbrell should be the closer. That's just my honest opinion. I know you paid him money. He just shouldn't be a closer. I would rather give that to Jose Alvarado or Sir Anthony Dominguez, more on the case of Sir Anthony. But I got the job done. I guess that's the end of the day. Even though I do believe more down the road, Craig Kimbrell as your closer, it might come back to bite you more times than it should. Just because he's not that elite guy anymore. He just doesn't have the same stuff that he used to. Even though he still has a few good pitches out there, he just can't find the strike zone as often as he used to. And for some reason, he just loves to throw a curveball that he cannot get swings and misses at. I don't know why. That's just the thing with Craig Kimbrell. I don't know. I don't know. And then going to Rob Thompson. Like, I don't want to get into the harp on the negative here because we won. We won the home opener. I don't want to harp on that. But I do have a problem with Rob Thompson going back to Zack Wheeler in that 6th inning, just because you saw in the 5th inning when he was just clearly struggling to find, the strike zone. You saw his velocity dip a little bit. He was around, hovering 97, 98 at the start of the game. When you get into the 5th inning, he's hovering around 94, 95. I do believe in that 6th inning, he touched 92 on a couple of his fastballs. So that definitely, I guess it's just a showcase of early in the season. He's just getting gassed just a little bit. So you clearly saw that he was frustrated. You clearly saw that there was a lot more hard contact in that 5th inning against Wheeler. He wasn't locating in the strike zone as, good as he was during the rest of the game. And I understand Rob Thompson, you want to go with your guy, go him out there, let him do his job. I understand that. You believe in your guys. And I love Rob Thompson for that. But I do feel like, a couple of decision makings early on in the year, bringing back Nola for another inning of work, and then you bring it, some of the decision makings with the bullpen, even though it didn't come back, in this game, but it's just the fact that, why not just bring the bullpen out for a clean inning? Why do we got to bring the starter out and then he makes a mistake, he's gone? I just don't understand that decision making on that point. It just kind of feels like you're falling asleep at the wheel and not really understanding the situation. Why does Wheeler have to come back for another inning of work when he was clearly frustrated and clearly getting tired in the 5th? Don't have to force him to go back out there. You got guys that are capable in that bullpen. You saw it today. And especially against the Reds. You don't need your starter to go 6, 7 innings. Especially when he's getting, a little bit frustrated with his stuff. So it just doesn't need to go to that extent, especially this early on in the year. I understand your bullpen might be being overused a little bit, but, when your starter clearly is, getting tired and visibly frustrated in that 5th inning, he gets out of it. But you don't have to force him to go back out there when he's going to clearly be on a short leash. It just doesn't need to happen. That run doesn't score. You don't have to worry about it. The bullpen comes into a clean inning. Bellotti comes into a clean inning, even though he got the job done and he was nasty. Just, a little bit, better decision-making in that point. So the decision-making for Rob Thompson, wise, has not been clean to start the year. And I'll criticize him for that. But I really hope this doesn't turn into, because I don't want to, rip on Rob Thompson a lot. Even though, opening day and the second game of the season, just everyone that was coming out of the bullpen was failing. So it's hard to blame Rob for that. But, not taking out Nola when it was 5-2, and then he allows the 3-run bomb to tie it, on opening day. There's just some question marks. That's all. I think Rob will be better as the season goes along. But hopefully this is just not a sign of, him not being the best bullpen guy. Because it kind of felt like, when he came into everything when Joe Girardi got fired last year, it kind of just felt like everything for him, regardless of who came out of the bullpen, regardless of who he chose, it just felt like everything worked. So were we just due for him to make a couple of bad decisions and see, a little bit of that? So I guess time will tell at that point. But, I think Rob just needs to be a little bit more better aware of the guys that he's picking. And not forcing your starter to go out there when he's clearly frustrated. That's just mean at that point. That just is. But away from the frustration. Well, not even frustration. Away from the criticism. Let's go to the game. And the game we saw was overall pretty good. It was a solid product out there. Going to the Phillies lineup today, Trea Turner, 7-game hitting streak. He's hit in every game so far. The start to season, he's been amazing. He went 2 for 5 in this game, and like I said, he scored on that Kyle Schwarber double down the right field line when he's hustling basically all across the bases, so that was nice to see. Kyle Schwarber goes 1 for 5 with that RBI double, like I just said. JT Realmuto, he goes 2 for 4 with that huge 2-run home run in the 7th inning, and that ball was absolutely crushed. It was hit right over my goddamn head. Well, over my head and 10 rows back, but still, it was over my head. It was over my head. It was nice. It was a nice thing to see. Nick Castellanos, he goes 2 for 3 with a walk, 2 doubles in this game. So Nick Castellanos had a very solid series in Texas, had a very quiet series in New York, and now the first game at home, he has 2 doubles. So let's see. I'm not going to say anything yet, but let's see what Castellanos does. Can he just be more consistent? That's the thing. Because he has situations where it feels a little bit uh-oh, and he's going to go fall into that slump. I would like to see home runs, though. Doubles are nice. Doubles are nice. That's still supplying some power. Power to the gaps. But I would like to see some home runs from him. Hasn't hit one yet. I would like to see it. Bryson Stott goes 1 for 4 in this game, so he keeps his hitting streak alive. Alec Boehm goes 1 for 4. Jake Cave, so basically the bottom of the lineup, they did have a really good second inning when they're just, walking everywhere. Jake Cave had a good at-bat where he walked. Who else? Cody Clemens had a really good at-bat where he walked. Brandon Marsh had a really good at-bat where he walked with the bases loaded, which allowed a run to score. So those guys definitely did have a good situation in this game. Overall, they weren't going to provide you much. And, Clemens is in the game because we heard from the Phillies that Derek Hall tore his UCL in his thumb, so he's going to be getting surgery on Wednesday, I believe they said, and we still don't know the timetable. Basically, we're going to have to wait for the timetable when he gets the surgery, but I would assume tearing a UCL in the thumb, that it's going to be at least a couple months. So you're really going to have to figure out what's going to happen with the situation at first base, because you lost Rhys Hoskins to the torn ACL, so that stung. And now you lost the replacement to Rhys Hoskins and Derek Hall. So you're really going to have to find a way to find that replacement at first base. Is it going to be Alec Boehm for the time being? I have no idea, because if you're looking at baseball right now, we're only 7 games into the season. No one's going to be making trades 7 days into the season. That's just it's just unrealistic at that point. We don't know how long Hall's going to be out. I would assume it's going to be at least a few months because he's getting the surgery, towards a UCL in his thumb. You got to wait for he gets the full grip back in that hand. So that's going to be a little bit for him. So Dave Dombrowski's going to have to work some magic here, because I don't think it's sustainable constantly, plugging guys into first base and just seeing if it works. Even though you were forced to put Cody Clemens in there just because you really had no other option. I would assume you're going to be seeing more of Alec Boehm and Edmundo Sosa more frequently, just, for the matter of fact, before, Dave Dombrowski finds some guy to plug there at first base. But it's just a thing to monitor, because you lost Rhys Hoskins and now you lost the backup to him. So you're going to have to go out there and find someone. And like I said, no one's making trades at this point this early in the season. So are there any guys like that are on free agency list or on waiver wire that could be picked up? I have no idea. Dave is going to have to work some magic here to figure out that first base hole, because that is a huge hole still without Rhys Hoskins. And now it's even a bigger hole without Derek Hall. So definitely something to monitor there. Edmundo Sosa with the pinch hit, not go ahead. Why do I keep saying go ahead shot? Pinch hit solo home run in the 8th inning. First pitch he saw. Absolutely crushed. Brandon Marsh, he had an RBI on the walk in this game, so overall. And he also had a nice diving catch in the later stages of this game when the Reds had a couple of guys on. He had a nice diving catch out there in center field, sliding all over the place. It was nice. It was nice to see. Runners in scoring position-wise still was definitely a huge issue. You went 1 for 10 overall with runners in scoring position. You did get those walks, which led to the bases loaded walk. But, Trea Turner had a chance. I believe Kyle Schwarber had a chance, even though he did drive in Trea Turner. No, he didn't have a chance, actually. Josh Harrison had a chance. He pinched it later on in this game. Nick Castellanos had a chance. Alec Boehm had 3 chances in this game with runners in scoring position. He did not come up at all. Bryson Stott technically got a hit, but it didn't drive in a run. So your only hit was a Bryson Stott infield single, which moved Castellanos over to third base, or Schwarber over to third base, I believe. So runners in scoring position, hitting-wise, it's got to get better. Definitely has to get better. Pitching-wise in this game, Zack Wheeler, besides that 5th inning, I thought he was pretty solid overall. You definitely saw that he lost a little bit of that command and the touch for the strike zone. And he was also dipping in velocity too, so I think that was just affected by it as well. He went 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts on 92 pitches. So those walks definitely came more in that 5th and 6th inning. So I think that's just more of a result of him getting gassed more than anything. And like I said, I don't think Rob Thompson should have brought him out in the 6th, but what's done is done. Andrew Bellotti got out of that situation in the 6th inning. He walked 1 guy and struck out 1 on 17 pitches, so he has yet to allow a run this season. Gregory Soto had a very solid 7th inning, only threw 11 pitches. It was very, 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 very quick. Jose Alvarado, absolutely dominant. 3 strikeouts in the 8th, strikes out the side, just nasty stuff all around. Only needed 14 pitches. Craig Kimbrell, he allowed a hit. He walked a guy. The tying run came to the plate. He also struck out 1. He got out of the inning. He did the job, but I still don't trust Craig Kimbrell for my life. 17 pitches he needed. Got the save. Phillies win 5-2. Hey. So I wonder. That's the thing. Kimbrell has only come out. Well, only the Phillies have 2 wins when they have been, leading by 3 or more runs. Even though the game against the Yankees they won, they were leading by 4 runs. Kimbrell gives up the home run, became a 3-run game. Is Kimbrell only going to be the guy that comes out when they have, maybe a 4-run lead, maybe a 3, 4, 5-run lead, and then maybe you bring in a Sir Anthony or a Jose Alvarado when it's like a close game, 2-1 or something, 2-run lead, 1-run lead or something like that? Because I definitely do not trust Craig Kimbrell in a 2 or 1-run lead. I would definitely be more comfortable, I wouldn't say fully. I'd rather Kimbrell come out for a bigger margin of a lead than, say, when it's a closer ball game. So that's definitely going to be something that we're going to be figuring out down the road. But, got another win. You're 2-5 on the year. Come home cooking. Got a few games at home here to work with. Try to get your record back to 500. Take it one day at a time and just find yourselves. That's basically it. Looked like you had some energy in the place with the crowd. Maybe that's all they needed. Definitely was a big spark there. I'm assuming it's going to be packed the entire weekend just because of the entire, NL championship celebration stuff. It was nice seeing the pennant get, put up on the flagpole. And, you're seeing Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins on the crutch lifting the pennant, or raising the pennant, actually. Broke my heart to see Rhys in that crutch. It just sucks. It really does. Missing Rhys Hoskins. It really does. I shed a tear seeing him on the crutch. Not really, but still. Got me in my feels. Heartbroken seeing him in that crutch. In the cast. Feel bad, man. Feel bad. Because that's just a huge loss for this lineup. And now you lose Derek Hall, too. Going to have to figure a lot of things out here with this lineup. Going to figure a lot out. Still a lot of talent on this team. You still got Trea Turner. You still got Kyle Schwarber. You still got Castellanos. You still got JT, Stott, and Bohm. Just got to figure the other stuff out. Sosa's a really good guy that you could plug in and plug out. Still don't think he's an everyday type of guy. He's a nice spark plug, but not like a full 162 type of starter. Maybe he's going to be forced to start a lot of games just because of all the injuries. But he's a nice spark plug guy. Jake Cave, he's going to go into the outfield whenever, Schwarber DHs, Castellanos DHs. It's going to be one of those situations. Same thing with Harrison. I really hope Pache doesn't see the lineup again. I feel like he's going to, maybe in the next few games. I just have a feeling. That's just me. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. And before we end it off here, we do have a voicemail on the Anytime Hotline. You can leave those at 215-839-9885. We have one here from Sean Fitzpatrick. Let's see what he has to say about today's game.
We're hot, baby. We're hot. 1 in a row. Here we go. No, look, you needed a win. They got the win. The Phillies are at the point, even though it's early in the year, where they've dug themselves a bit of a hole. So the immediate goal is to just try to get back to 500. You got to crawl before you walk. That said, this is the perfect team to do it against because you have to be the most avid of baseball fans to know, other than Will Myers, who the hell Cincinnati's rolling out there. I think Hunter Brody said it on one of his videos recently that the Phillies need to sweep this series, and I tend to agree with him. So, nice job by the bullpen today. Some timely hitting. Great job by Sosa to poke one out of the park coming off the bench. Kimbrel, again, he'll be a Maalox moment all year long, but he got the job done. Got that win. Glad they survived yesterday's Noah's Ark torrential rainstorm and were able to play today. Hopefully they can get the next two and call it a sweep.
I know.
We're hot.
Okay. I know everyone was like commenting on the the rainstorm that didn't happen yesterday. Well, technically did happen. It didn't happen until like 8 o'clock at night. But that I just, with the weather, what it was yesterday during, when the game would have been played, nice weather, like, high 70s, around the 80s. It would have been perfect baseball weather for the home opener. And then we come into the day, it's 50 something degrees out. Well, it's technically 60, but it's much colder just because there's no sun out. So, yeah, that definitely sucked on that weather aspect. But yeah, in terms of like sweeping the series, it's hard for me to ask that just because they haven't won any game in a row yet. So I'm more in the line of just win the series at this point and see where you go from there. And if you win tomorrow, you'll have a chance to sweep on Sunday. So that'll be nice. That'd definitely be nice to see. Yeah, I would definitely, be in more of demanding of sweep just because of the expectations with this team. But I'm a more take it one day at a time type of guy. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. We got to see what happens tomorrow. And let's look at tomorrow before we end off this video. So let's see. We're going to have Bailey Falter going up against Nick Lodolo. So it's going to be a game of two left-handed pitchers. And then you're going to have Taijuan Walker on Sunday against Graham Ashcraft for the Reds. So, let's see what Lodolo looks like. He got a win in his first start. He has a 3.6 ERA. He was against Pittsburgh. He allowed 2 earned runs. He went 5 innings, struck out 9. So, I do believe the Phillies did have a bit of trouble when they faced Lodolo last year. So, we're going to have to see what happens. So, 2 more games in this series. Tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow's recap, it might be a little bit later in the night just because I'm having my Easter dinner early over at family's house. So it'll be more closer towards the nighttime, probably like around, 10 o'clock or something like that. We'll see where the day goes with that. But still, definitely stay tuned for that. I appreciate everyone here that joins the live stream as always. So do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal. Definitely hit that. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. It's a great deal. Do not pass it up. Get it for any upcoming Phillies home game, if you want to do a road trip, or if you want to go see a Sixers game. Playoffs are coming up soon, so definitely get your playoff tickets for them. So, thank you everyone for joining tonight, and I'll see you next time.